Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentleman.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive whether he can issue President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would
can't?
Be a gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse of presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, Jamie Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons is
Yes, it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he get a
about
pardon
this.
also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that committee?
The seeking of pardons is
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One who, in fact, one drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators linking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Avocado Diablo, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who if we were 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
Show every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
Yep, I decided to come back. Not that there was any doubt. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel, where, you know, there's another kind of lawfare going on, and that has nothing to do with the Trump administration, but has to do with, just forcing you to think in a certain way, and that's the main topic today. But we got a few Gun Foxes dropping Hamiltons left to right. Thank you, Gun Fox. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. We'll get to those bright and early right after a couple things. But anyway, so we got lots going on. Plus, Avocados Diabli. Are you here yet? I haven't seen. Are you here? Oh, no, not yet. Well, I'll wait till when he gets here. I'm going to read his chat from yesterday again, because I missed it. I couldn't find, I didn't have my Streamlabs open. You can't open it when you have StreamYards going at the same time. It's a pain in the ass with my computer. So I missed one yesterday, and I said at the end of the show, but I'll bring it back in at the beginning of this show when he gets here. But he's not here yet, which is shocker. I mean, where the hell is he? I hope I didn't offend you, sir. You're good stuff. So anyway, So yeah, I got a lot to do and less time to do it than normal, so let's get the show started. First in the chat today, well, howdy ho, it is Lewis gets the bell. Congratulations, first time ever. Being the recipient of the bell, which is the first person in the chat, always gets the bell. Good morning also to Mike Savage, Blarg, Kara Soldier, Tyler F, K-Show's in the house. Good morning also to JB, Tyre, Alexander, The Scourge, and that kind of looks like everybody so far, which means, and Gunfox61, Lord Stanhope, my other favorite Canadian, Unacceptable Views, we're all getting in there. Oh yeah, I forgot JB's in the honorable mention list of favorite Canadians. So there you go. I said Lord Stanhope. So yeah, people are going to roll in slowly here, and we'll figure it out. We'll get you all in. So, as people show up, I'll say hi. But right now, there's only 14 people here, which is kind of depressing after my 1500th episode. But we had a nice crowd yesterday. I appreciate everyone who was here yesterday, and the super chats and the participating in the chat. The people who came on the show were awesome. JB, Reaction Puerto Rico, Scribe Light, Tyre, Alexander, and Kara Soldier. Thanks to everyone who dropped in. We'll do some more of those in the future. And also going to work on having more guest shows. Get shows with guests. Good morning, Ms. Wild Wolf. What up, my fellow Minnesotan? So it's 15 people in chat, 6 likes. Hit the like button. You got to do that thing. Wait, Gunfox, I have 6 engineering teams worried what I think up today. Yeah, I'm the type of guy that once they get on a roll knocking out great ideas, I have 7 ideas, concepts. My boss is shocked. Okay, there you go. Somnambul Nation's in the house. How you doing? Let's get into it. So, just because got to get the thing going. Trending topics. The one that got me. Well, wait, what time? Oh, I see what I did there. Oh, thanks to the people who share the show. That's what I want to do first, which would be Ms. Wild Wolf. What about denying reality? We may be onto something here. Oh, okay. And also Gunfox61 dropping articles that we'll get in the show real early. Thank you to the people who retweeted the show: Somnambul Nation, Swamp Fox Ghost, Kirsten Shull, aka K Shull, and Tyre Alexander, and then also a few Let's Goes. Now what is this? Okay, this is kind of a combination of different people dancing from different movies. That's pretty cool. Thank you also for tweeting out the show. Also, Tyre Alexander with the requisite Ric Flair. Woo! Oh, you can't see any of this, can you? How about that? There we go. Ric Flair. Woo! Anyway, and then this is the one I couldn't figure out. I was like, wait a minute, what is that from? Obviously, this one's from Caddyshack. I don't know what this. What's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know what that one is, but there's all kinds of people dancing from different movies in the background. That's pretty cool little GIF there, or GIF, excuse me. I don't know why I say GIF. I've always called it a GIF, and then I heard some people called it a GIF, which I never understood because it's, the G stands for graphics. Also, let's see. Oh, here we go. Ms. Wild Wolf with what is that? It's a fake turtle on the seabed. Oh, no, it's real. Wait, what? Oh, no, it's a superimposed turtle. By the way, when my wife and I went to Hawaii a few years ago, there's a beach, a black sand beach on the southern end of the Big Island, because that's where we were when we went there. We went to the Big Island, which was really enjoyable. It's really relaxed. I hear that Oahu's kind of hectic, whereas the Big Island's so totally laid back. But anyway, we went to the Black Island beach there, and there was about 9 sea turtles up on the black sand just sunning, and yet they keep people away from them. You can just take pictures. So that was pretty cool though, seeing the sea turtle, and also them going back and forth into the water was kind of cool. And then we went to another spot and saw some more sea turtles moving back and forth. So that was pretty interesting, seeing the big old sea turtle. They're huge. I didn't realize. I mean, I knew they were big, but I didn't realize they were that big. So anyway, there you go. The turtle made me think of that, even though this one is a fake one. It's a cool little video there. All right, let's get into the show. There's things we got to talk about. First of all, a special day today, and this one's actually kind of cool. Today is Medal of Honor Day, and I didn't know we had a special day specifically for Medal of Honor, but there's a lot of people talking about that today. The United States Navy said, did you know that the U.S. Navy was the first branch to approve the Medal of Honor? Today we honor the bravery and sacrifice of our nation's heroes on National Medal of Honor Day. And then it has watch the video. Should we watch this? It's only a minute. It's only a minute and 30 seconds long. Let's check out the Medal of Honor video here. And let's see, put the full screen there. All right, here we go. Let's watch this. Here's what you should know about the Medal of Honor. The Navy was the first branch to approve the Medal of Honor. The medal was proposed in 1861 by Senator James Grimes of Iowa. Grimes chaired the National Senate Naval Committee. It was originally awarded for valor, ranging from acts of life-saving to valor under fire. The Navy's version of the Medal of Honor was adopted in 1862. The award's design was encircled by 34 stars. These stars represent the 34 states of the Union during the Civil War. The design features Minerva, the goddess of civic strength and... Wait, hold up. I missed it. Goddess of civic strength and... wisdom. Okay, my microphone stand got in the way there. She is seen as warding off discord, representing secession and the rebellion. Originally intended for enlisted, by 1915 it was authorized for officers. The alternate version, known as the Tiffany Cross, was used until 1943. The Medal of Honor is solely awarded for acts of valor while engaging the enemy. As of March 2018, 1,048 sailors, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen are recipients of the Navy's version. And then you can learn more about it at history.navy.military. So there you go, .mil. So there you go. Pretty cool. And when I saw this, I'm like, oh, well, I wonder if it's possible to feature someone who has received the Medal of Honor. And lo and behold, this article popped up. Medal of Honor recipients, Medal of Honor recipients to Medal of Honor's recipients, family ties to Black Patriot of the American Revolution. And this is about Corporal Fred McGee. I thought it'd be appropriate on Medal of Honor Day to actually go through one of these articles. So let's do this real quick. In a White House ceremony January 3rd, the daughter of Corporal Fred B. McGee received his posthumously awarded Medal of Honor for his heroic actions in the Korean War. His was one of several from the Korean and Vietnam Wars during the ceremony. While McGee survived the war, he died in 2020 while his family continued to campaign for his award to be upgraded to the Medal of Honor. Now, this was January 3rd of this year. Wait a minute. Okay, this was awarded by Biden. Anyway, his actions on Hill 528 near Tangwon-ni, Korea on June 16, 1952 occurred while serving with the 17th Infantry Regiment, one of the few American military units that had been racially integrated at the time. According to his Medal of Honor citation, McGee was a light machine gunner when his platoon was assaulted a fortified enemy position. Braving machine gun and mortar fire, he laid down covering fire for the assaulting troops. When his squad leader was wounded, McGee took command and exposed himself in order to lead the squad forward to a position to neutralize an enemy machine gun. When the machine gunner was mortally wounded, he ordered the squad to withdraw and volunteered to cover their retreat and help to recover the dead and wounded. He aided a wounded man to safety despite being subjected to considerable mortar and artillery fire. He was initially awarded the Silver Star and 2 Purple Hearts for his action on Hill 528. While he was still fighting in Korea, his heroism was depicted as part of the series called Heroic Comics, published by Famous Funnies. Yet when the comic came out, he was depicted as a white man. He later told the Cleveland Plain Dealer, "When I first heard it was coming out, I was pretty excited. I saw the comic while I was still in Korea in 1953. I looked at it, saw that my character was white, and I felt it didn't seem right. I was mad. I felt like someone was getting the accolades for what I did." As a private citizen, Fred McGee lived a life of selfless public service alongside his wife, Cornell, receiving various civic honors, including being inducted into the Ohio Military Hall of Fame in 2002. Shortly before his death, he was accepted as a member of the Sons of the American Revolution, one of a growing number of black Americans seeking acceptance into the organization, and the Daughters of the American Revolution. The writer is Patrick Poole from American Greatness. He said, as I documented in my recently published book, Black Patriots, Recovering the Lost History of the American Revolution, thousands of black patriots, slave and freemen alike, served and fought for American independence from the first shots of the Revolutionary War at Lexington Green and Concord to Yorktown, and the final British evacuation. Fighting in integrated units, black patriots served in large numbers in virtually every battle and major skirmish of the Revolution. At the Battle of Monmouth in June 1778, more than 700 black patriots were accounted for from the brigades that had participated in one of the largest military actions of the war. Black patriots also fought in the bloody frontiers of the fledgling nation, frequently encountering Native American tribes allied with the British. This is where Fred McGee's patriot ancestor, Henry Dorton, enters the story. Born into slavery in Blandisburg, Maryland in 1748, Dorton escaped his bondage and fought as a free man during the American Revolution. We know the details about his militia service thanks to the details he provided in 1832 when he applied for a soldier's pension for his service. Drafted into the Pennsylvania militia in 1777, he was marched to Fort Pitt, serving under the command of Captain William Foreman. Dispatched to monitor Indian raids along the Ohio River, his company was ambushed by about 12 miles south of the modern Wheeling, West Virginia, then Fort Henry. But Dorton was among a few of the Foreman's men to make their escape. As I recount in my book, Henry Dorton was able to make his way to Fort Henry and to alert them to the attack. His October 1777 discharge included his pension files. He later served a term in 1778 and enlisted in June 1781 in Maryland and was likely present for the surrender of Cornwallis at Yorktown. What I discovered while conducting research for my book is that a number of black patriot descendants continue their family tradition of military service. Jude Hall of New Hampshire escaped slavery, enlisted in May 1775, and fought at the Battle of Bunker Hill among numerous other battles, serving almost continuously until discharge when the Army disbanded in late 1783. Two of Jude Hall's grandsons, Moses and Aaron Hall, served in the 3rd U.S. Colored Infantry and the famed 54th Massachusetts in the Civil War. Black patriot Bazaleel Norman of Maryland fought at Monmouth, Camden, Cowpens, Guilford Courthouse, and Utah Springs after the war eventually settling in Marietta, Ohio. 3 of his grandsons would die in the Civil War. Henry L. Norman of the West Virginia Cavalry was a POW and died at the notorious Confederate prison camp at Andersonville. As Azariah Norman died of wounds and may be buried in as an unknown at Arlington National Cemetery. Corporal Horace Norman died in service on April 24, 1864, and is buried at Hampton National Cemetery. Bazaleel's great-grandson, Henry A. Norman, graduated flight school on December 7, 1943, and served during World War II as part of the famed Tuskegee Airmen, later serving in Korea and retiring from the Air Force as a major. Fred McGee has now taken his place among the ever-growing roll of honor of Black Americans who have bravely fought America's wars from its very beginning, frequently at the cost of their own lives. Heroism, service, and sacrifice, all Americans should recognize and celebrate. So I just thought it was a great story, and it's nice to see that in a conservative publication, and it's there you go, Tyre, America, fuck yeah. The American Civil War was the largest conflict in the Western Hemisphere so far. I don't want to have the Battle of Canada. That ain't happening. Anyway, I thought that was a great story. It'll be in the links today. Thanks for indulging me on that one. Also, today's celebrity birthday. Now, there is only one that I saw that I had to tell you about. And that would be none other than Mr. Fred Rogers. Mr. Rogers' birthday would be, now granted, Mr. Rogers passed away several years ago, but yeah, it's Mr. Rogers' birthday today. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day, my neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Anyway, he would have been 93 years old today. And there was a funny one, though. I had to show you if it's here. Well, I thought that was Eddie Murphy. No, that's a clip of LeVar Burton telling Mr. Rogers about some highlights of his career. Anyway, if you didn't get a chance to grow up with Fred Rogers, I don't know. Do they still play reruns of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? It was just kind of a cool day. Wait, Fred Rogers was born on March 20th. Well, then why is it saying today? It says on this day. Oh, this is March 20th. What the hell? This is that. It was a few days ago. So anyway, we missed it. But anyway, today's the 25th. So it was Thursday. Oh, it was Friday. Well, anyway, whatever. Happy birthday, Mr. Rogers. We missed it. I'm saying it anyway. Okay, it should have caught my eye a few days ago. All right, yeah, here we go. Way to go. Anyway, let's see. Some more people showed up. Hello, my favorite Canadian Jaeger ponies in the house. Also, I see. Let's see. The Rockhopper. What's up, my friend from down under? It says, I'm awake. Good day, P-Dog, in the nightly chat. Very good. And also, I see Darren Roots in the house. Good morning. How you doing? All right, enough about that. Now, Gunfox, like I said, has been dropped on Hamilton this morning and dropped 3 articles. So we're going to go through those quickly and then keep moving on because I want to get to the main topic. First one is about China.
China is asshole.
Apparently, well, not China necessarily, but this story is in the BBC, not the good one. If you know what I'm saying. Stop it. Small town mayor accused of trafficking and spying for China. Now, this may foreshadow something we're going to talk about later in the show, too, regarding Chinese spies, but not so much. Anyway, apparently in early 2022, residents of the rural Philippine town of Bamban, north of Manila, gathered for the mayoral campaign rally of a plucky young woman named Alice Liao Guo. Guo, I think it is. Guo. We'll just call it Guo. Hello, Midnight in Exile. Supporters dressed in pink, their candidate's favorite color, chattered in anticipation of her arrival. Then came the low thudding of a helicopter rotor, prompting cheers from the crowd. Sitting in the cockpit, Guo, in a pink shirt and a pilot's headset, flashed a smile, waving down her supporters. As the helicopter touched down, the crowd broke into a chant. Alice Guo! Alice Guo! Alice Guo! You know what I mean? At 31, Guo's star was rising with promises of generous subsidies and economic development. Oh, so she was bribing people? Anyway, all delivered in her signature brassy, upbeat tone. She had galvanized a following in the town which could see her become the first female mayor. But few of those cheering could have predicted that less than 3 years later, Guo would be behind bars facing charges of human trafficking and allegations that she was a Chinese spy. Her downfall began with a police raid that uncovered a compound where a giant scam operation was being run from just behind her office. But as the authorities delved deeper and Guo struggled to answer basic queries about her past, a perplexing question emerged. Who really is Alex Guo? Guo says she came to local politics from the pig farming business, having managed her family's commercial piggery for several years. The career change would have required deep pockets, and when quizzed about her campaign finances much later, Guo said it was friends and acquaintances in the pig farming business who had supported her mayoral bid. We'll check that in just a minute. I will read that. And also your run from yesterday, I had to read after you had already left. So I'm gonna read it again. I promise. And let me make sure it's still highlighted. Oh, somehow it got unhighlighted. Okay. Anyway, her campaign focused on her sunny persona. On stage at one event, Guo told her audience, "For our team, rule number 1 is do no harm. No harm is allowed. We should just spread love, love, love." Such cheerful platitudes would carry the... Whoa, wait a minute. I'm trying to think of the logistics of this. Or maybe I'm just using the word wrong. Let me read it again. Such cheerful platitudes would carry a taint of irony, as opposed to an iron taint. In retrospect, when authorities exposed the harm and suffering they had alleged had been inflicted under Guo's watch. But upon taking office in June 2022, she brought the youthful, bright-eyed energy of her campaign into Banban Municipal Hall, painting it pink and decorating the outside of the building with flowers. Oh, isn't that lovely? Look at that beautiful hall. Anyway, Alice was beautiful, she was kind, and she was helpful to other women, said Priscilla May Aban, 31, who runs a vegetable vegetable stall in town. She told the BBC that she had voted for Guo precisely because she was a woman. Oh, yes. Why isn't that working? There we go. See, that's the problem. When you vote for someone just because there's something that you like, woman, man, black, white, Indian, whatever, that causes problems. Anyway, she voted for because she was a woman, adding that as mayor, Guo had arranged cleaning jobs for women in town. The women in town. Oh, so she made them all maids. Guo is widely regarded as caring and empathetic leader, judging by conversations with the BBC had with several residents of Banban. Mia Magia, the daughter of one of Alice's political allies, claimed that she had given a free scholarship to every local household. How could she afford that shit? Another interviewee told us he hadn't received a scholarship, but had been given a cash subsidy for his school fees. And emotional Frances Flores, 75, said, "She helped a lot of poor people here in Banban, giving medicines, and the way she is with people, you'd never see a problem." He proudly mentioned, oh, that's a dude. Sorry, I gave him a chick's voice. He proudly mentioned the arrival of a McDonald's and a branch of the Philippines fast food chain Jollibee. during Guo's tenure. Well, damn, if you live in Bonbon and you get a McDonald's in town, I'm going to go to the Bonbon McDonald's. I'm just saying. Online, pro-Guo social media accounts portrayed her as a progressive young mayor presiding over a pink-tinted wonderland of parades and buffalo races and concerts. Buffalo races, that sounds kind of fun. A year and a half into her mayoralty, however, this carefully crafted image began to crumble. In February 2024, Philippines police received a report about a Vietnamese national who had escaped from the captivity of Zunwan Technology Incorporated, a company operated out of a walled compound in Bonbon. On the evening of the March 12th, police officers and soldiers gathered nearby to plan a raid on the site, located just a minute's walk from Guo's office in the municipal hall. One officer who was there, Marvin de la Paz of the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, told the BBC that around midnight, police informants sent word that people were leaving the compound in buses. Suspecting that their plans for a raid had been leaked, Mr. de la Paz and his colleagues raced straight for the compound. On the way, they saw people fleeing in the other direction, and some officers in the convoy had to peel off and chase them down. When they arrived at the site, they found one of the largest scam hubs ever uncovered in the Philippines, containing 36 buildings and spanning almost 20 acres. We were amazed, Mr. de la Paz said. That was our first time seeing such a grandiose entrance to a scam compound. Sometimes you feel like you're small in this compound. It later emerged that the compound was built on land which Guo had previously owned, and that as mayor she had granted Zunwan a business permit. Her name also appeared on the electricity bill found at the site. Alice Guo's lawyers did not respond to the BB's request for comment. Where is this going, and how long is this article, Gunbox? Holy shit, this is like 8 miles long. Okay, we're still gonna keep going because you did drop a Hamilton. Real quick though, let me do these super chats first. Gunfox from yesterday. At the end of the show, he said the Democrats should employ Tires Services to reanimate the corpse of Harold Washington and run for president. 1, he is black, and 2, he likes to wear women's underwear. That hits all the demographics. So if you weren't here yesterday, you might be wondering what the hell that's about. And I'm not telling you. I'm just not. Thank you, Gunfox. Or excuse me, thank you, Avocados Diablo. Appreciate it. Also, just now, Avocados Diablo dropping a small bullet in the tip jar says, I'm not late, just stupid. Okay. I mean, you didn't have to tell me that. Oh, there's more. Excuse me. I'm just playing. Power went out at about 3 a.m., so I went to bed, woke up, and still no power, just until just now. I walked through my kitchen and noticed the time on the digital clock on the stove, so I checked the circuit breaker, and the rest is history. Well, damn, that sucks. I hate that. Don't you hate when power goes out? Don't you hate that? It's really a pain. That's why I use my phone as my alarm clock, because if I use my I don't even have. I have a clock in the kitchen, a clock on the stove, and the microwave. All the other clocks we got rid of. I don't use them. The clock on the mantle is just for show, even though it works. And the clock on the stove, you can't get rid of it. But the phone is usually much more accurate. So there you go. Thank you. All right, continuing on this story. Oh, goodness gracious. So Zunwan was purportedly an online gambling and entertainment company which held a Philippines offshore gaming operator's license, accreditation that previously allowed such entities to operate legally in the Philippines. A relaxation in gambling regulations under ex-President Rodrigo Duterte, in 2017 led to a surge of POGO-driven businesses, which, again, Philippine offshore gaming operations, POGO, surge in POGO-driven activity. But many scam syndicates also found POGO license useful for masking their criminal operations, and PAOCC told the BBC they found evidence that Zunwan was running a pig running pig butchering scams from its office in the compound. Pig butchering is the con where scammers take time to build trust with victims by posing as lovers of prospective business partners, then trick them into investing their money into fraudulent schemes. When shown around the compound by PAOC, I'll just call it PAOC, which is the officers, earlier this month, the BBC found in a deserted employee dormitory training scripts on how to scam targets. Quote, "I want to create my own financial empire," end quote, a scripted character, a female crypto expert at an international bank, says to her target before flattering him and encouraging him to share his dreams. She is told to put her target on hold while pretending to cash in on a trade, only to declare moments later that she had made a killing. She then asks whether he himself knows how to trade, setting him up for the transfer of money that would soon follow. So this is like the Nigerian email scams. This is just one of the many ways in which these compounds swindle billions of dollars around the world, typically run by Chinese organized crime groups across Southeast Asia. They are staffed by a mixture of willing employees that trafficked victims who are forced to scam. By the way, here's something fascinating. I've been getting a lot of calls, or a lot of texts, there's a new scam, and it's also out of the Philippines, where they text you, here, I think I saved it. No, I didn't save it. Shoot. They text you from an unknown number, and it usually has an international prefix, like I think it's 35 maybe, or it's either 35 or 63. I can't remember. But they tell you that you owe, it says you owe a toll from, driving wherever you are. And apparently right now they realize that there's some like, what are the fast lane toll lanes in Minnesota? And so they tell you that you're past due on a toll and that you will be fined, X number of dollars if you don't pay it by this date. And you're supposed to call back this number. And when you call back, they scam you. They basically get your credit information and steal money from you. I recognized that it was a troll or whatever, a scam immediately, just because I never drive in those lanes unless it's, the times when they're free. Hello, Now What Studios, my good friend Wu from high school. So anyway, that's the new scam they're doing now. So if you get texts from unknown numbers, never send them money. All right. So here we go. According to De La Paz, he and his colleagues found more than 300 foreign nationals in the Bonbon compound, many of them working there against their will. Punishment for disobedience or underperforming workers range from beatings to the banal. The BBC was shown a notebook from the compound in which a worker had copied out the phrase, "I will meet my targets tomorrow," hundreds of times in Chinese. Enclosed by walls topped with barbed wire, the workers' area of the compound was its own self-contained world, featuring a basketball court, supermarket, and restaurants. Employees lived in rooms of 6 each with a balcony equipped with a toilet and a shower. Why would they have the toilet and the shower on a balcony? That's weird. Hello, Special Canada on the honorable mention list of my favorite Canadians. One of their bosses, meanwhile, lived in a separate gated enclave, says La Paz, who showed the BBC one of the villas there. A marble-clad living room featuring a high-end entertainment system, security, monitor, and ornate hardwood furniture. Behind the house was a swimming pool, behind which was a staircase that led down into what was supposedly escape tunnels now flooded with water. By the time security forces stormed the Bonbon compound on the evening of March 12th, some of these scam bosses had already eluded capture. But the raid signaled a shift in the political climate. In June 2022, just as Guo was being sworn in as mayor, Rodrigo Duterte's presidential term had ended. His successor, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., soon began facing calls for a ban on pogo businesses. Many across the Philippine society sounded alarm about the criminality that often lurked within, despite millions they brought in as revenue. Their biggest customers were rich Chinese, which led to concerns about foreign influence as Marcos, unlike his predecessor, courted Washington over Beijing. When the raid in Bonbon happened, exposed a dark underbelly of the Philippines. Around the two worlds of Alice Guo, the pink offices where she had sought a political career, and the scam compound, which suggested far murkier ambitions, collapsed on one another. Guo had been a relatively unknown name in the Philippines until last May when she was called to appear before the Senate to explain her links to the scam compound. Almost overnight, she became a meme. When she told the senators she had grown up on a family farm, it brought swift ridicule from Filipinos who said she was too glamorous for the countryside. She became notorious for her inconsistent, vague comments, as well as her claims to have forgotten basic details of her early life, leading to social media nickname for her, the Amnesia Girl. Guo said she had a secluded childhood as the child of a Chinese father and a Filipino mother, but could not remember where in the Philippines her family home had been. At one point, a senator said to her, please, Mayor, a little more candor than you have shown so far in answering some of the important questions. She told skeptical senators that she had sold her stake in the land before becoming mayor and that the issuance of a business permit in Zunwan had been a mere administrative measure. Suspicion mounted when, during the hearings, a court in Singapore convicted 2 of Guo's Chinese former business partners in the Philippines of money laundering. Then last July, despite the intense public interest of her case, Guo managed to slip through the travel restrictions imposed on her and escaped to Indonesia. A few months later, she was rearrested and returned to the Philippines. Now, there's only a little bit left, so I was going to say I was gonna end this, but this article could have been two paragraphs and told me the same information. So in the long run, basically, this person ran a scam business and had traffic people and had them working against their will, basically slave labor. And there you go. So thank you, Gun Fox, for that one real quick. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. Another small bullet saying, and tip jar. Avocados Diablo says, no, the power was never actually out. The circuit for this room got tripped, and I just assumed it was a power outage. So when I noticed the clock was working, I finally realized what had actually happened. So it was just a single circuit. So see, that's why I use my phone for the time of day. All right. Anyway. All right. We'll get through these next couple articles, and then I'll get to the main topic. Apparently, the U.S. military has restored a U.S. World War II area airfield. The Air Force has launched a major restoration project to bring a long-dormant World War II era airfield on the island of Tinian back to operational status. Where the hell is Tinian? The 356th Expeditionary Civil Engineer Group, based in Anderson Air Force Base, Guam. Oh, it's in Guam. Hey, wait, no. They can't put any more. They can't put an airfield on Guam. It'll tip over. What are you talking about? Okay. That's a little Hank Johnson joke. Let's see. The 356 is leading the effort to unearth, restore, and improve North Field, a strategic site once used for B-29 bomber missions during the war. The initiative is a trilateral collaboration between U.S. Air Force engineers, U.S. Navy sub-Seabees, and the U.S. Marine Corps engineering teams. According to officials, the project will provide an alternate location for flight operations should Anderson Air Force Base become unsustainable during a conflict. Work has been ongoing since February 23rd, 2025. So they're going to restore airfield in Guam. Let's just hope they don't tip the island over. You know what I mean? And I hope it doesn't capsize. And then the third article Gun Fox gave to me. Apparently, I-80 is closed in both directions as another sinkhole opens up in a New Jersey highway. What? Is there a... Let me see. Hang on a second. I think there's a media report. Let's watch the media report. There we go. Hello.
We're back with breaking news. Another sinkhole causing problems on I-80 in Wharton, New Jersey. And Chopper
What the hell?
John McLaughlin is live over that scene.
So if you're in New Jersey or traveling on I-80.
Well, Adam, it's the same location that's been the problem since December when an abandoned mine shaft caused a sinkhole to develop on the eastbound side.
Now,
that eastbound
okay,
side is
let me ask
closed
y'all
and will be for
something.
the next...
Would you be standing anywhere near that? When's that thing going to open up? When is that thing going to open up?
but the original hole, we were here.
Oh,
and
it's
we
near
saw
the
it
overpass.
collapse even
It's not on the
more. And now it
overpass,
looks like
but it's
starting
right
to
there.
impact the westbound lanes of Route 80 over by Route 15 over in Wharton. The officials were looking over the side earlier and to see what the damage has been done, but basically what's going on right now is that the westbound
It's a fairly
and
small
eastbound
one.
traffic is both shut down and diverted over by Route 15 near exit 34 in Wharton. It's unclear if the rumble strips that were supposed to be fixed with this project for the closure is part of the issue that caused it to collapse, or if it is the abandoned mine shafts from December or something else entirely. But the takeaway here is that east and westbound
Well, they
Route
say it's
80
an abandoned
now
mine
closed
shaft.
over by Route 15 in Wharton. Route 46 definitely a better option to get through here. Adam, back to you.
Yeah, you have to wonder what this means for that timeline. Officials just said it's going to be an additional 2 months to make those repairs.
And they're saying it's the second sinkhole. So it's another one. So anyway,
While I-80 remains
there you go.
closed.
If you're traveling to New Jersey,
John McLaughlin with that look over the sinkhole.
That's what you got to contend
in Wharton,
with.
New Jersey. John, thank you.
All right. There you go. So there you go. Thank you, Gunfox. Let me make sure this thing doesn't start playing. Let's pause that. I don't want the next report to go while I'm talking. All right, let's get to the main topic today. If you are familiar with Billboard Chris, I just happened to notice he got arrested. He got arrested in Brisbane, Australia, in the last couple of days, for obstructing. Now, if you don't know what obstructing is, well, that's a good question. But he had posted this on X. Police in Brisbane have used force to remove me from a public street, but declined to press charges. Well, apparently they did press charges. They got a fine later. But he says they don't think they want an international incident on their hand. This all happened because a bylaw officer lied and said I was obstructing people's movement in a public square. All I did, as usual for the past 4.5 years, was stand by quietly by myself in the corner of the square, having conversations only with those who approach me. He told me to move, and I refused because I know my rights. I'm on a public street, and I can have conversations. He then issued me an $806 fine. I gladly accepted it. He ordered me to move again. Again, I declined. Then the police came. They debated for about 45 minutes what to do with me before eventually saying I would be arrested and charged if I refused to move. I could not agree with their terms with clear conscience. I refused to accept zealous abuse of power by those in authority simply because I'm peacefully spreading a true message that vulnerable children are being maimed, sterilized, and turned into lifelong pharmaceutical patients. I opted not to violate my integrity, so they physically removed me. I believe they know what they're doing is wrong, which is why they opted not to formally arrest me or charge me. I guess they say he wasn't charged. More in the video to come. So you can watch the video. There's a couple of videos of what he was doing and whatnot. It's in the links, but it brought me to the it got me thinking about how the law, they're trying to force this ideology on us by law. And in that case, as they go back and forth, if you watch the video, he says, he's not the only one who stands in that square with signs occasionally. And he was, he takes video of everything he does. He's the guy who wears the sandwich boards, saying that children cannot choose to be make themselves lifelong medical patients, whatever. Message about being against the transing of children, as in turning them transgender, whatever. Oh, by the way, good morning, Select Boy. Yeah, boy. And Mrs. Hayes is in my brain, and Green Badger Outdoors. What's up? So anyway, it got me thinking, because there's several examples as I'm going through the news today of places that are trying to enforce your acceptance of a certain ideology. And so it's kind of wild because there's several different examples. So first of all, Fairfax Public Schools were trending today. And where is it? Here it is. Fairfax, this person says Fairfax was once the #1 public school system in the country, and it has become a complete joke. So the concerned parents does not seem like an extremist in any way. Okay, this is where we're at. Where is it here? Here's what happened. So this parent is at a Fairfax Public School Board meeting, and let's watch this video real quick.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Weichbrot. I'm a mom of 2 in Fairfax County. This is my oldest. And my husband and I have a difficult decision to make this fall as he is approaching preschool age, and we are faced with the decision of whether or not we are going to put our child in public school system where Fairfax County has decided to move forward with instituting gender studies in elementary school. Despite having done a study group, a focus group in the community to see if parents even wanted this. And when parents said no, the board voted 16-0 and said we're moving forward anyways. This shows clearly that they see parents not as partners, but as an obstacle for their agenda. And I have a really hard time looking at him and going, here, I'm just going to give you over to people who do not want to partner with me and how you're going to be raised. School and education is a huge part of a child's life. And early childhood is supposed to be filled with exploration and creativity and fun, not debating issues that are for adults to handle. These kinds of topics should be introduced sensitively and by parents who are raising their children with their values, not with an ideology passed down from the top.
So, and as you could tell from that, and Avocado, see, I saw what you wrote there, you dirty dog. So anyway, Fairfax schools voted down a gender curriculum. They had a public forum on it, and the parents voted against it. But the school board decided to implement it anyway. So they're adding a gender curriculum to all grades in that town. And so again, where the powers that be are trying to force ideology down your throat. Well, then I got to this example too. But this is a girl. Wait, this is good news. Let me do the bad news first. So also, and I believe this is in California. And this is a federal court. Listen to this. Listen to this. Court says school can secretly socially transition a 12-year-old student to the opposite sex. Social transition. Okay. Another federal court has ruled against a parent's right to be notified when their child socially transitions to the opposite sex in school, taking its cues from the Foote and Ludlow case, a similar First Circuit case that was covered on this particular outlet. The Northern District Court of New York held the school's non-disclosure policy was necessary to promote a safe learning environment for all its students. Now, first of all, what does that even mean? What do you mean a safe learning environment? That the school can do this. So anyway, New York mother Jennifer Visacki, oh my gosh, how do you say this name? Visacki? Something like that. Sued the Chanatellis Central School District last year, alleging school staff had treated her 12-year-old daughter Jane as a boy, referring to her with new masculine name and new third-person pronouns, all without the parents' knowledge or consent. We covered the lawsuit. I'll give you they covered the lawsuit in another article, which I will also put in the links. Like virtually every trans-identifying student in the parental notification cases we've covered, Jane was an emotionally vulnerable child. Newly arrived from her native Greece, Jane was having a hard time adjusting to her new life. She was anxious and depressed when she told her new school she wanted to use a new male name and pronouns, according to the lawsuit. Shortly after meeting with her, according to the court filings, the all-too-willing school counselor told Jane's teacher and staff they should call Jane by her new masculine name and use the ambiguous they and them third-person pronouns instead of she and her. Jane's parents, however, were not told about these actions. And this is the most maddening part. Your minor child, they're making a major change to your minor child and feel like they don't have to tell you. That's fucked up. I'm just sorry. Jane's parents, however, were not told about these actions. The school gender identity policy directed staff to deceive them by using Jane's given name and pronouns when talking to her mother while using her new masculine set at school. So basically the school is teaching the kid how to lie to her parents. That's fucked up too. Excuse me. Even the school yearbook, the court noted, was to use Jane's legal name rather than her preferred masculine one. That's because under the school's gender identity policy, the student calls the shots. A 12-year-old directs you in your decisions about the kid's life. The district permits students to determine when, how, and if to notify their parents of their decision to elect a chosen name and or pronouns at school. In the lawsuit, Vizcacci claimed the policy violated her constitutional rights, including both her religious and parental rights to direct her daughter's upbringing, education, and health care, all of which were rejected by Judge David Hurd last week. I wonder if he's related to Amber. Judge David Turd. The school policy furthered its legitimate interest in promoting a, quote, safe work, quote, safe, unquote, learning environment for its student, he ruled, and therefore did not violate her religious rights. And how the fuck do they define safe? And you absolutely, look, you have a parent-teacher conference, right? You gotta come to the parent-teachers conference. And you go to the school and you get there and you talk to the teachers and then you talk to counselors, you talk to other teachers, and no one bothers telling you that they're using different name and pronoun for your kid. They don't have to tell you that. That's not relevant to what the parents need to know. What if they were totally supportive parents and said, oh, that's wonderful. We should do that. You're not going to tell them either? It's fucked up. Sorry. Nor did it infringe on the mother's parental rights. The Scanatellis policy was more like a civility code that extends the kind of decency students should expect at school, such as being called the name they asked to be called, Judge Hurd wrote. Well, what if the parents say that's not her fucking name? And here again, as in the Foot and Ludlow, the court grossly mischaracterizes the true nature of social transitioning. The cases covered all make clear secret social transitioning, starting with using students' preferred name and pronoun, puts the child on a path to permanent life-altering medical transition. It's not just a matter of etiquette. Yeah, there's studies on that. But the school wasn't required to tell the mother it was applying its, quote, civility code to sex transition her daughter because the mother had no right to that information, the court concluded. Simply put, if she didn't like it, she remained free to exercise her parent rights at home, whether through direct conversations, private educational institutions, religious programming, homeschooling, or other influential tools the court held. So if you don't like it, you can take your kid somewhere else. Well, I hope she did. Now, as a matter of fact, and on the bright side, that's exactly what Miss Vizcacci did. According to the court filing, she took Jane out of public school and put her in private school where she has observed noticeable improvement in her daughter's overall mental health and where Jane no longer asked to be called by a different name and pronoun. So good for her. Fuck that school. Fuck that school district. Holy shit. Anyway, thank you, Avocados Diabli. Dropping another small bill at the tip jar saying, seems to me if the school actually believed any of this, they would never use anything but the new name. That they would use the kid's actual name to obfuscate indicates to me they aren't all that serious about the importance of transitioning as they claim. That is straight up true. Absolutely. Yeah. If they really believed in this shit, then they would use whatever the preferred name and pronouns, whatever. I wonder if anyone ever slipped and how they found. I wonder how the mother found out about it. If no one was telling her, so it had to slip somehow. Somnambule Nation, if I am legally responsible for my child until 18 years old, that child has zero privacy rights. None. Yeah, exactly. I agree. That's insane. And another, and by the way, I did put a link to the other school district that, or the other article about this in the lawsuit originally. So there's 2 articles here. In the Daily Wire too. And here's another one. Now this one is another one where I go, oh, what the fuck? Now, it's an older child, but whatever. Apparently, an LGBTQIA L plus LMNOP activist teacher and her trans husband have housed a minor teen girl in Colorado against the mother's wishes. An LGBT activist teacher in Colorado and a trans-identifying male husband are housing a 17-year-old girl who identifies as a boy. Police say they are unable to intervene to bring the teen home to her mother. Now, this one is confusing. Is there a court order involved? Is there a reason why they can't intervene? I'm sorry. This sounds like kidnapping to me. Joanne Smotherman, a former math teacher at Durango High School, took the teen, one of her students, into her Durango home in December when the girl left home after a fight with her mother. Joanne is married to Vivian Smotherman, a trans-identifying man who ran for Colorado State Senate as a Democrat last year. Shocker, he's a Democrat? I can't imagine. The teen's mother, Cynthia Stein, has gone to the Smotherman's home and attempted unsuccessfully to take back her daughter. She called the police, but the officers who responded to the scene said they would not force the teen to go home, according to the police report and body cam footage of the incident obtained by the Daily Wire. The situation is the culmination of months of outside influences on the vulnerable teen, her mother said. And then there's a video. There's a video here that I'm not going to show. But here's the one, though. There's one. You do not appear to be in distress. I don't want to put words in your mouth, one officer told the 17-year-old girl who said she did not want to leave. The cop and the Smothermans used male pronouns for the girl, so they were calling. Anyway, the 17-year-old girl has identified as a boy since the fall and now uses a unisex name. She has been diagnosed with autism, ADHD, an eating disorder, depression, and anxiety, which is not unusual. Most, especially girls, at least as I've read a lot about this, girls in particular who identify as trans usually have up to 5 or more other comorbidities that might be causing their distress, and so this girl again diagnosed autism, ADHD, eating disorder, depression, and anxiety, according to medical records provided by her mother. At school, the teen was seeing a counselor without her mother's knowledge, who advised the girl to terminate parental notification and encouraged her to participate in LGBT support groups. Oh my God. So basically the teachers and counselors are encouraging this shit because they don't know, they probably don't deal with all the other comorbidities. Thank you, Kara Soldier, who says, dropping a small bullet tip jar. A parent's right does not end at the threshold of a school. A judge, there's no judge ruling on this one. Oh, on the other one though. On the other case, yeah. The judge needs to be disbarred and arrested for legal malfeasance. I don't know if they can do that, but certainly his ruling needs to be appealed and overruled. That's a bullshit ruling. Yeah, right. Parental rights don't stop at the school grounds. That's crazy. Back to this one. So the turn to radical gender ideology came amid difficult times at this girl's home. Stein underwent treatment for an aggressive cancer in 2023 and believes the crisis deeply affected her daughter, who became very withdrawn from the family. Smotherman stepped in to take advantage of my kids, Stein told the Daily Wire. She just inserted herself into my family, and I still can't get her out. I just can't stress to you enough how floored I am that this woman has gotten away with what she has, and that there's nothing I can do to make it right or hold her accountable. And I'm concerned about the husband. Then I know for a second the teen ran away from home. after her mother told her they were moving to Denver to be near family and to put some distance between the teen and local influences. Law enforcement and Child Protective Services got involved, and the child ultimately went home to her mother. However, the girl left home again on December 21st after a fight with her mother. This time she went straight to Smotherman's home. Her mother later discovered, although she initially did not know where her daughter was, and filed a runaway report with the police. On January 5th, Stein went with two friends to the Smotherman's house and tried to retrieve her daughter. Stein called the police, and two deputies with the La Plata County Sheriff's Office responded and conducted a welfare check on her daughter. Basically, as long as I know that everybody's okay, that's really the extent of law enforcement involvement. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say, one deputy told the Smothermans on their porch when he arrived. We get it. He's just incredibly terrified right now because of everything they've been through, Vivian responded, using male pronouns for the girl. The officer went inside and asked the teen how she was, and she responded, "I'm good. How are you?" Good. That's all I need to basically hear, the officer said, adding later, "You don't appear to be in distress. I don't want to put words in your mouth." So basically, in a sense, I mean, there has to be a law. There has to be some kind of kidnapping law for this. This is insane. So anyway, in the article, there's a tweet thread about this, and you can check it out if you'd like. It's in the Daily Wire. And the last article related to this, or in this, there's two actually. This one, and this was in the UK. This is happening everywhere. So you got in Australia, you got Billboard Chris, basically being arrested because of the content of his sign, not because he was obstructing obstructing people's free movement, because he was out of the way. You got the other one here with the 12-year-old. Oh, you don't have to tell the parents you're socially transitioning. This one, basically a kidnapped 17-year-old, although the kidnapped kid's there on her own volition, I guess. Apparently she has rights to be there on her own volition. And then in the UK, now this nurse has had to take legal action after the National Health, what do they call it? The National Health Service in England, the NHS. They disciplined her for refusing to call a racist trans pedophile she. That's a very loaded headline, but a senior UK nurse is taking legal action against Epsom and St. Helier University Hospital Trust after facing disciplinary measures for refusing to use female pronouns for a male pedophile that called her a racial slur repeatedly. Jennifer Mell, 40, from Croydon, argues that her Christian beliefs and rights have been violated, and while the NHS claims that she has breached professional conduct standards by using correct biological pronouns. Mel encountered the patient, known as Mr. X, during a shift on May 22, 2024. The offender, serving time in a high-security male prison, had been convicted of luring boys into sexual acts while pretending to be a teenage girl online. What the fuck? Upon reviewing medical records, Mel saw that Mr. X was officially listed as a male, but had a typically female name on the ward's board. When referring to the patient as Mr. X in a conversation with the doctor, she was met with a furious outburst. "Do not call me Mr. I am a woman." Oh my God. I just had visions of, "It's ma'am! It's ma'am!" Mr. X shouted, according to Christian Concern. Mel responded, "I am sorry, but I cannot refer to you as her or she. It's against my faith and Christian values, but I can call you by your name." The situation escalated, and Mr. X allegedly hurled racial slurs at Mel, including, this quote, "Imagine if I called you a nigger." Anyway, before threatening to report her for supposed homophobia. Report her for homophobia. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Report her for homophobia. That doesn't calculate either. Anyway, the patient then lunged forward toward her violently, prompting intervention from prison guards. So long story short, she is being so she starts to report this incident, right? She reports the incident, because the Mr. X called her racial slurs and threatened her with violence. So she's reporting the incident. And guess what happened? Mr. X was not disciplined, but Mel was summoned for an investigation. Not of Mr. X, but of her. She was informed that her refusal to use the patient's preferred pronouns could be considered a violation of the Nursing and Midwifery Council Code of Conduct, which states nurses must avoid making assumptions and recognize diversity and individual choice. The NHS Trust issued Mel a final written warning and referred her to the NMC, which is whatever that is, the National Nurse and Midwifery Council. Additionally, she was removed from internal systems, making it difficult for her to apply for extra shifts, and she was transferred to another ward, a move she describes as a demotion. So she got demoted. They put an investigation on her. And I mean, there's a lot more to the story, but again, they're trying to force you into acceptance of an ideology. It's amazing. And if you want, I added a tweet thread right next to this that gives you the full story from something called Christian Concern. And it's quite a long thread, but it's fascinating that she's going through all this legal issues because after someone threatened her and called her racial slurs. So it's amazing to me. Now, a bit of good news on this vein of topic. There is one victory here. The World Athletics has introduced mandatory sex testing for females. Now, I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, and I'm not sure. Is this like some invasive shit that they're going to have to do on every female, or are they just going to do DNA test or whatever? World Athletics has announced the implementation of mandatory sex testing for female athletes to confirm their biological sex, aiming to preserve the fairness in women's sports. This initiative, backed by World Athletics President Sebastian Coe, will employ non-invasive techniques such as cheek swabs or blood tests. This policy has sparked broad discussion of fairness in sports, with various stakeholders weighing in on the implication for transgender and what's a DSD athlete? Anybody know what that stands for? Anybody? I know what a trans athlete is. Transgender. What is DSD? Anybody? Anyone want to tell me that one? They will insert 2 fingers. Oh my God. They'll do a shocker. Probably shouldn't admit I know what that is. Anyway, they've decided that they're going to do mandatory swab testing for female athletes to make sure that they're actually female. When I think of doing a sex test for women, I really don't think sports, first off. You know what I'm saying? I said, you know what I'm saying? Come here, baby. It's time for a sex test. Oh, yeah. There you go. Enough of that shit. That's silly. So anyway, sex test. DSD stands for differences of sexual development. Oh, so like intersex anomalies like that. Okay, there you go. All right. Now, the other gigantic topic that I'm not going to be able to get into today, but oh boy, it's a bit of a shit show. And it's one of the trending things that is happening, and there's several different trending topics related to this, right? No one said they were swabbing the cheek. Well, it depends on which cheek you're talking about. Anyway, Signal is trending, and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is trending, and censure. Oh, that's censored. I put that back here somewhere. What the hell? Oh, and that's Jasmine Crockett. What the hell? That's supposed to be... Okay, I'm going to skip the Jasmine Crockett and censored is trending, but that's not what I want to talk about. Signal, Pete Hegseth. Here, we'll move Greenland down here somewhere. Oh, these got all mixed up. That's why. Okay, we can close that one. So here's what happened, and you're going to be hearing a lot about it the next couple days. So apparently, some of the Trump administration bigwigs, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, were all on what's called Signal. Apparently, Signal is an encrypted kind of chatting platform, I guess. I'm not too familiar with Signal. What happened to it? Did I close it? Jesus Christ. Anyway, so they're on this platform talking about some plans to do some military action in Yemen against the Houthis or whatever. Hello, Reaction Puerto Rico. Senior Trump administration officials, including a discussion on during a discussion on potential military actions against the Houthis in Yemen, accidentally included a journalist in their Signal group chat, exposing sensitive information. The event clearly has gone wild on social media. In a notable security breach, members of the Trump administration inadvertently shared their war strategy on Yemen via a group text message that included Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. The discussion involved high-ranking officials contemplating military actions against the Houthis. The administration has confirmed the authenticity of the leaked messages, highlighting a significant lapse in operational security. Now, I am completely fascinated by this event because apparently Mike Waltz, I guess is his name. He's, let's see, where's Mike Waltz? There's Signal. Mike Waltz is, what is he? He's a national security advisor. And somehow Mike Waltz adds to a chat group or a, text group of all fucking people, Jeffrey Goldberg, who is a very, very well-known anti-Trump editor of The Atlantic. Jeffrey Goldberg is one of the people who, what was the story he broke? I think that was, I know he's one of the first to jump in on the Russia hoax. He's also, he's been in several and many dubious ones. He's one of the guys who's the Suckers and Losers. He's the one who published the Suckers and Losers hoax, right? Now, I need somebody on this planet to explain to me why in God's name or the fuck, whichever you choose, would Jeffrey Goldberg be added to any group regarding anything in the Trump administration? Somebody figured, hello, Protocol, what's up? Nice to see you. It's been a while. Who the fuck did this? So, yes, sabotage. I'm saying this is somebody sabotaging the Trump administration, somebody in that group somehow, or perhaps someone's, an aide or what do you call him? Secretary of personal assistant, whatever, who may not really like the Trump administration. Somebody how would they get Jeffrey Goldberg, who is infinitely well known as an anti-Trump person? Now, they say Mike Waltz is the one who put him in the group. What is Mike Waltz doing? I mean, is it possible that they were trying to punk Jeffrey Goldberg? But I don't know. No, because the message they're talking about make it sound like this was a legitimate chat group. And I have no idea. Why would this be? This makes no sense. And it has, the lefties are going crazy. But there are a couple in particular that I wanted to highlight since I don't have a lot of time. One of the people who decided to comment on this, here's the article. Trump, this is the America Sucker and Losers guy. That's Goldberg. So some people are doubting this, but let's see. Here's Brian Stelter. Here's how Brian Stelter's covering this, because he says there is a word for how Jeffrey Goldberg handled this shocking situation patriotically. Now, I'll give Goldberg credit that he didn't, he in a sense kept his mouth shut, even though he put an article in the Atlantic about it. Here's Brian Stelter praising Jeffrey Goldberg.
Let's keep in mind here, Goldberg was seeing very classified information, names of CIA officers. Apparently, he was seeing the war plans before the plans were enacted. So, if somebody else had been added to this group chat, there were real national security concerns here. It reminds me, the kids are always taught in school about the best and brightest running government. And then stories like this erupt, and we see how human the government actually is. But
how human? At least he's saying they're human.
We've never quite seen before, and
again,
people are going to try to figure out, why was Goldberg added to this. There's some theories that they were trying to add somebody else with the initials JG, maybe Jameson Greer, who's the U.S. trade representative. That would have made sense. But the point here is, it was so simple, so easy, so sloppy to add a journalist from the Atlantic instead. And of course, Goldberg was patriotic. He didn't tell anybody. He didn't go out and share the war plans, of course. He just listened in and tried to figure out if this was real or not, and apparently it was all too real.
Okay, so, and I'm going to give Stelter credit for just reporting on it and giving Goldberg credit for not doing what and I give Goldberg credit too for not sharing the plans. But there are a couple people who've commented on this that should have kept their damn mouths shut. One is Hillary Rodham Clinton. Hillary Rodham Clinton, what did she post? You've got to be kidding me, showing this, right? And putting a copy of the article there. Now, if there's anyone on this planet that needed to keep their cake hole shut and their ass sat on its seat, or a very ample seat, is Hillary Rodham Clinton, who got a pass from James Comey for the classified information that was in her bathroom server. Okay, she needs to shut the fuck up. Okay, although I can understand why she might go, what the hell? And I honestly, I think Mike Waltz might be. They may be. I wouldn't be. I hope Trump fires somebody on this, because that would be the right thing to do. We'll see what happens. So she had to open her big fat mouth, which again, some people would say, oh no, who's this? Oh, McCaffrey. He didn't pipe in when Hillary Clinton was caught with an entire server system outside the classified structure. So I don't give a damn what he has to say now. Yeah, I couldn't give two fucks about what Hillary Clinton says about it. She literally had a server outside of the system. Okay. And then the other person who had to open his damn mouth, of all people, was none other than Representative Eric Swalwell, who has been chirping about this, saying, wait, Pete Hegseth hasn't resigned yet? You mean Eric Swalwell, who was fucking a Chinese spy? Wait, Eric Swalwell hasn't resigned yet? Crazy motherfucker. So anyway, but people on the left are having a field day with this. Here's an article in the Daily Wire. White House acknowledges journalist was inadvertently added to high-level chat on Houthi strikes. A journalist known for his critical pieces on President Donald Trump. Again, of all people, how was Jeffrey Goldberg even on a list of people to contact to put in this signal group? I don't get. Anyway, known for his critical pieces on President Donald Trump, was inadvertently added to a national security group chat in which top Trump officials discussed airstrikes in Yemen. The White House confirmed on Monday afternoon this appears to be an authentic message chain, and we're reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain, said National Security Council spokesman Brian Hughes. This thread is a demonstration of the deep and thoughtful policy coordination between senior officials, and the ongoing success of the Houthi operation demonstrates that there were no threats to troops or national security. The Atlantic editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, published a story Monday morning alleging that he was added to a chat that included Vice President J.D. Vance, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and other members of Trump's inner circle on March 15th as the national security team deliberated launching airstrikes on the Houthis. A user bearing the name Michael Waltz added Goldberg as a signal connection a few days before he was added to the chat titled Houthi PC Small Group. Goldberg said that he was not sure whether the Signal chat members were actually members of the Trump administration, and he writes that he remained in the chat and observed the conversations that took place over the next several days. Goldberg spent the next few days watching as Vance, Hegseth, Waltz, and others discussed the president, the airstrikes, international diplomacy, and more. One noteworthy exchange, the account labeled JD Vance messaged the rest of the group, "Team, I am out for the day doing an economic event in Michigan, but I think we are making a mistake. 3% of U.S. table runs through the Suez Canal. 40% of the European trade does. There is a real risk that the public doesn't understand this or why it's necessary. The strongest reason to do this, as POTUS said, is to send a message. I am not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with the message on Europe right now," the Vance account allegedly continued. "There's a further risk that we see a moderate, severe spike in oil prices," he said. "I'm willing to support the consensus of the team and keep those concerns to myself, but there is a strong argument for delaying this a month, doing the messaging work on why this matters, seeing where the economy is, etc." An account under the name of Joe Kent then responded, "There's nothing time-sensitive driving the timeline. We'll have the exact same options in a month," according to Goldberg, who notes that Kent is Trump's nominee to run the National Counterterrorism Center. This was followed by a response from a user named John Radcliffe. "Oh, I wonder who that is. I bet it's John Radcliffe." And that message, according to Goldberg, contained information that might be interpreted as related to actual and current intelligence operations. Goldberg then says an account named Pete Hegseth, probably Pete Hegseth, messaging in the chat directly addressing the Vance account. "Vice President, I understand your concerns, and I fully support you raising it with POTUS." That account wrote, "Important considerations, most of which are tough to know how they play out. Economy, Ukraine, peace, Gaza, etc. I think messaging is going to be tough no matter what. Nobody knows who the Houthis are, which is why we would need to stay focused on it. Biden failed, Iran funded." For those two reasons. The Hegseth account argued that waiting for a few weeks or a month does not fundamentally change the calculus. 2, immediate risk on waiting. 1, this leaks and we look indecisive. 2, Israel takes action first, or Gaza ceasefire falls apart. And we don't get to start this on our own terms. We can manage both. We are prepared to execute, and if I had a final go or no-go vote, I believe we should. That account argued this is not about the Houthis. I see it as two things. 1, restoring freedom of navigation, a core national interest, and 2, reestablish deterrence, which Biden cratered. But we can easily pause, and if we do, I will do all we can to enforce 100% of OPSEC. I welcome other thoughts. So anyway, they had there's more in the conversation. I don't need to go through any more of it. But again, the question is, of all people, why Jeffrey Goldberg? Okay, there's another article in National Pulse. So I am just completely dumbfounded by this, and I honestly, someone needs to get some walking papers, and it would be appropriate. And oh, by the way, wait a minute. Where's the one? There's a meme that was funny in this, though. Hang on. There it is. Oh! Wait a minute. Hang on. So there. Well, I'll get into Greenland tomorrow. I'm gonna save this Jennifer Rubin clip for tomorrow, but it'll be in the links today. And if you see a Jennifer Rubin clip in the links today, if you ever go into the links, about 15 to 30 seconds into it is the part that I wanted you to listen to. You'll get it when you see it. That's going to be it. All right. So let me do my thing and drop the links into the chat like I always do. Give me 1 second. And that's it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. Let's see. There we go. Well, there's that. There's that. There we go. All right. Here comes today's links. From the show. And that's it. I got to go. Hey, have a great day. I don't have any words of wisdom. Just don't take any wooden nickels if you know what a wooden nickel is. Who here knows what a wooden nickel is? Anybody? They used to have those when I was a kid. I mean, they're not real wooden nickels, but the fake wooden nickels. And people say, don't take a wooden nickel. And then they give you a wooden nickel. And I would take it anyway because I was a kid. I didn't care. I thought it was cool. All right, that's it. I got to go. Have a great day. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.